This lesson is going to be about percent of change, and we're going to talk a lot about percent of change when we start getting into looking at different stocks. And we look at this throughout in all kinds of data. Is the sale worth it? Is it not worth it? So let's talk about the formula behind it. And all a percent of change is, it's a ratio. We've been dealing with ratios. So what does it compare? It compares the difference of something over the original amount. So when you look at this, percent of change equals, it is a formula, so that's why I have an equal sign, is the amount of change over the original amount. Okay? So when the original amount goes up, it's called a increase. And when the amount goes down, it is called a percent decrease, right? Increase up, decrease down, and actually it's percent. So let's take a look at the example. Beth bought a $75 pair of jeans for $60. Find the percent of change and classify as a percent increase or decrease. All right, so it was $75 and she got them for $70. So what is the difference there? The difference of $75 and $60 over the original amount of $60. So 15 over 60, and again, you guys have a calculator. So if you typed in 50 divided by 16, you would get 0.20. Now, remember, I still have to go from decimal to percent, so I'm going to go over twice, and it's 20%. But I'm not finished because is it a percent of increase or decrease? So look at what happens. It was $75, and now it's $60. So that is a 20% decrease. So decrease, you just look at what was the original, what is it now? If it goes up, it's an increase. If it goes down, it's a decrease. Well, they were 60, they were 75, now they're 60. So they went down 20%. Let's do a couple of others together. Let me move it. All right, so we're just going to do the left-hand side together. And let's look at the percent of change. So John went from weighing 140 to 155. So right away, the original was 140. He went up to 155, so I know it's going to be a percent of increase. So I may do that on my paper. I may put up just to remind myself, okay, percent of increase. So the difference of 155 and 140 over the original amount of 140. So I get 15 over 140. When I put that into my calculator, it's 0.107, move my decimal twice, so it is 10.7% increase. Okay, now let's look at number 3. Last year, the debate team had 25 members. This year, the club has 18. So it went from 25 to 18. So that is a percent decrease. So I'm going to put the arrow down to remind myself it's a percent decrease. So remember, it's the difference of the amounts over original. So what's the difference of 25 and 18 is 7 over the original members, which is 18. That's what my beginning was. No, it wasn't. 25 is my beginning. Sorry. 25. It was last year to this year, so 25. So 7 divided by 25 is 0.28. I move it twice over to make it a percent, and it's a 28%. And I already know that it's going to be a decrease because it decreased that member, those members. All right, let's do a few more together to make sure you understand the difference of increase and decrease. Okay, so let's look at number 5. Ian worked 25 hours at the grocery store last week and 36 hours this week. So 25 was my original, and now he worked 36, so he went up. So it's going to be percent of increase on this one. And what is the difference of 36 and 25 over the original of 25? So 36, and the difference is 11. over 25, and when I divide 11 divided by 25 in my calculator, I get 0.44. Move it over twice to make it a percent, so it's a 44% increase. Okay? All right, number 7. The store employee changed an $8 sticker price to $2.50 and placed it on the sales shelf. So the original price was $8, so it went from $8 to $2.50. That's a decrease. So what is the difference of 8 and 250 over the original amount of 8? Well, 8 and 250 is 550. Hello. 550 over 8. And when you type in 550 divided by 8 into your calculator, you get 0.6875. I move it over twice for the percent, so I get 68.75% decrease. Gotta put decrease, whether it's an increase or a decrease. All right, let's look at number 9. The total rainfall was 14.5 inches in 2014 and 8.9 in 2015. So we go from 14.5 to 8.9, so that's a decrease. So the difference of 14.5 and 8.9 over the original, which is 14.5. So the difference here is 5.6 over the original amount, which is 14.5. When I put that in my calculator, I get 0.386. But of course, I need to change it into a percent. So I get 38.6% decrease. Decrease, it's going down. Okay, let's do 11 and 13. You guys want to pause it? Pause the video and then check your answer with me. That's fine too, but I'll do those so we can get some more practice. So if I look at number 11, in Mr. Warlam's math class, Erin earned an 88 in the first quarter, a 94 in the second quarter. So her score increased. So I'm going to put that to remind myself that it's a percent of increase. The difference of 94 and 88 over the original, which was 88. So it's 6 over 88. When I type 6 divided by 88 into the calculator, I get 0.681, and 81 is repeating. So when I turn this, it's at 0.06. So when I move it, I get 6.81% increase. Okay. All right, number 13. The florist sold 800 roses last year on Valentine's Day. This year they sold 638. So we go from 800 to 638, so that's a decrease. So 800 minus 638 over my original amount, which is 800. So the difference is going to be 162 over 800. When I type that in the calculator, I get 0.2025. And I change it into a percent, so I get 20.25%, and it's a decrease. Okay? So the big takeaway here from this lesson is that, number 1, percent of change is a ratio. We look at what it compares. The difference over the original amount, and you must have language associated with percent of change. Whether it's increasing or decreasing, you gotta have that language. Come see me if you need some help.